Hey, She Slayers, this is a special sample cut from this week's episode. If you find this interesting, be sure to make time to go listen to the entire episode released this past Sunday. And please be sure to help a girl out and follow or subscribe to this podcast.
And I look at expenses as the only way we utilize money, not as a bad thing. It's
Okay,
just
hold up. I have to process what you just said. You view expenses as a way to utilize money, not a bad thing. So this is why you're against budgeting.
well, I want to be clear. There's an alternative to budgeting, so I'm not about recklessly spending all your money. I just invented something called mindful cash management, and I'll talk about what that is. My issue with budgeting is this. It's kind of like dieting. When people get into scarcity and restrict calories to the point that they don't get to enjoy food, they actually increase cortisol levels with that extra stress. And they usually rubber band and start eating more eventually because of that caloric deficit and because they're afraid of food. The same thing happens with money. If we're only thinking about the finite game of what we can eliminate, we might eliminate the very things that make us more productive. Maybe we're not willing to invest as a chiropractor in the right equipment or in the right associates or in the right CA or in the right education or whatever it might be. And so, yes, they're holding so tight to their money that it's suffocating them from growing.
Yep, I've seen that a ton.
That's my issue with budgeting. Right.
What is the ROI on this $800 program? And you're just like, oh my God, if you can't figure out how this is going to help you go, this $800 can easily provide a 10, 20, 30x return in a single year. Like, I don't know what to do with you.
Right. So that's the issue is budgeting is a mindset of scarcity. And it's about what we can eliminate. So I'll frame it this way. There's 3 ways to live within our means. It's just that when I tell most people live within your means, what do you think they hear?
Cut my latte.
Right. And look, that's another ridiculous thing. I remember I got into a vehicle that we were going to dinner with David Bach, who wrote about the latte factor. And my buddy Joe goes, hey, Garrett thinks the latte factor is stupid. And I was like, great way to introduce us. And I just said, I've never met a billionaire that's like, it was cutting out the latte. That's what did it.
It was for me. It was Starbucks. They're just too expensive.
Yeah. So living within your means, if you think just about reducing your expenses, you might cut out productive expenses. Like, I don't have a budget for my ads to sell my books. Mm-hmm. If the ad brings back $1, we put in another $1. If the ad brings back 60 cents, we adjust the ad. And if the ad brings back $1.20, we increase the amount that goes towards it. It's not a budgeting thing. That's a productive expense. But if you're in budgeting, you might eliminate the very things that set you free. And so there's 2 other ways to live within your means. One is to be more efficient within your means. That means plug financial leaks. Most chiropractors tip the government. They overpay on their interest. They have hidden fees or commissions with their investments. They don't design their insurances properly, and therefore it's really inefficient and money's leaking. So those 4 I's, IRS, interest, investments, insurance, are ways you can live within your means by plugging the leaks. But the game changer is to expand your means. That's the real game of wealth. No one shrinks their way to wealth. So if you can expand your means, that's a different way. And so the mindful cash management is you just simply pay yourself first, take an automatic percentage, plug the leaks to help you get there, and then live off the rest. And if you can live off the rest without going out of bounds, you don't have to budget. Like, I don't have a budget. I just make sure that every $1 that comes into my account, a percentage goes to a separate account, and we live off the rest. If there's extra,
hold up. You just made a 60-second thing. Like, here's all you have to do, but you said it real fast and as if we all knew what the fuck you were talking about. Okay, so you don't have to budget. You focus on the 4 I's. And then what?
So when you set up your bank account, you can set up what's known as a sweep account that every time you make a deposit.
Profit first, right?
Yeah. Like Michalowicz nails this for sure. So you just automatically set money into the separate account without having to touch it. It's just every deposit, there's a percentage that goes to this other account. There's actually a really cool program called Currents, Currence, that will do this for you, so that you have this reservoir and it shows the different flows of your money so that you intentionally choose from the beginning how much you're going to save, and then the rest goes so that you can spend what's left over. So that's the difference of budgeting. Budgeting is, how much do I have for utilities? Why did that go up? How much do I have for entertainment? How much do I have for gifts? How much do I have for clothes? And, there's just certain times where There might be 3 amazing concerts in 1 month. I don't want to be like, I'm missing those because the budget wasn't right this month. I'm going,
Right.
there's cash in the account. I've already paid myself first. I'm building the right amount of wealth. I'm going to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, the difference is I like to see people have a living wealthy account, that there's an account that money goes into for guilt-free spending. Just money that you want to enjoy, that you don't have to justify to anyone else. This
Hold on,
thing
I need
is,
to make sure my husband here
yeah,
is he's my editor. Like, yes, okay. Can we get that set up, please, Kirby? Thank you.
yeah. Like when we fly, I want to fly lay down seats. So, you know, if that's come from a living wealthy account, I don't feel any guilt.
Right.
This was a silly amount of money I paid for this little cardigan looking thing, and I just love it. And you know what? Other people might think it's a waste of money. I've got friends that will spend so much money on wine, and I'm like, I don't get it. It doesn't taste that much different to me. But again, it's their value, not mine. And so if you have a living wealthy account because you paid yourself first, you've automated your savings, then have some money that you'd be like, what's worth it for you? Go all in on the things that matter, and be like, this is what we want to spend this money for, so we feel wealthy along the way. Because I think wealth isn't just having it, it's how you live it. And if you're always deferring it to the future, you miss out on the wealth along the way.